Welcome to All Revved Up, the show where practical spirituality meets real, messy, everyday life. I'm Reverend Dr. Thor Challgren, and each week I'm joined by Reverend Dr. Tiffani Milne and Reverend Dr. Liza Marquez. Now, yes, we're ministers, but we're not here to preach at you. We're three friends exploring the kinds of questions people are already talking about. Relationships, identity, burnout, purpose, culture, and how to find meaning in a world that often feels chaotic. Rooted in the New Thought tradition, our conversations are completely unscripted. Expect thoughtful insights, plenty of laughter, a few friendly disagreements, and the occasional rabbit trail. Whether you're deeply spiritual, completely skeptical, or simply navigating your latest life plot twist, we're glad you're here. So grab your coffee, your tea, or whatever gets you through the day, settle in, and let's get all revved up. It's hard to believe we've done 5 episodes, and yet, Dr. Liza, here we are. You just said right before we started recording, it's hard to believe we've done 5 episodes. Well, we haven't. We've done 4, but welcome to the 5th.
Yeah, I guess welcome to the 5th.
We love it. And Dr. Tiffani, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
It's interesting. I want to ask both of you, like what you've been hearing from people who've seen the show, heard the show. I'll just say one of the things that I do love is I look forward to it because I love these conversations. And I'm hearing that from people, that the conversations and the things that are interesting to people. What are you guys hearing about the show so far?
That we rock.
I have heard that I am nothing like the people of Calabasas Confidential, the Netflix show, which I very much appreciated. And yeah, I think people are just enjoying. It's nice and refreshing to hear people that like each other just having conversations about things that are going on in their lives. And
Yeah.
With a twist.
With a twist.
With a twist. Yeah, for sure. A little spicy.
We're a little twisted.
Very much so. And in our own unique kind of ways. And that's all good. All good. But I think also it's like, what's life like and what's it like when you remember who you are, you know? Because that is, for me anyway, I'll speak for myself, it can be two very different things.
It's totally 2 different things. Like, it's funny. I was reading something that was saying like the way that you talk to yourself determines sort of the outcome of what it's going to be. And like when you're met with a challenge, when you're like, recognizing like I can do hard things or like I'm up to any challenge that comes my way. There's a different energy than like, sort of entering it with a defeatist attitude, which we know, like that's what we teach. But I've been really recognizing, even like at work, my mentality has shifted to this idea of like, I'm a problem solver. Like, nothing's gotten me down yet. And so when challenges come my way, my natural instinct is like, all right, well, what are our options and what do we have to do? Whereas I recognize that sometimes it takes other people a minute, which is okay, but it takes them a minute to get out of their own way before they can get into solution, rather than jumping into this like, all right, like, I mean, nothing's killed me yet. I doubt that, a launch of a state is going to be the thing that takes me out. Maybe.
I can see that. What do you think about that, Liza? Or like when challenges come along, do you think that, are you better able to sort of, or maybe faster to be remembering who you are?
I think it always depends on what's going on in life, right? Like for the most part, if everything is going pretty smooth and I hit a bump, I can handle it immediately. But if, it's kind of like juggling, right? If you're juggling 3 balls, yeah, fine. One might get a little off and I think I can catch it. But if you're doing 10, it can be a little challenging to remain centered, to go, yeah, no, I got this. I know I've got all these balls up in the air that I'm juggling, but hey, I got this.
So what do you do in those times? Because yes, you're absolutely right. But like, what's the difference between, I guess, before and now? Like, sometimes the 10 balls feel overwhelming. So like, what do you do to like get back to that place of like, I've got this, I can do this?
I mean, I think everybody's got, for me, for sure, is like, you two are the 2 people that I call the most, I have to remind myself to get out of my own way. And what I've learned, because for the longest time, for a very long time in my life. And I know I can at the end of the day. Like, I'll handle it on my own. I can do it. I can do it on my own. And like getting help from other people just seems weak. And when you realize it actually isn't weak because they can sort of slap you in the right direction. And, I like, so especially with you, Tiffani, like I'll call you and you'll be in the mud with me for a second and then you'll be like, time to wipe it off, And that's great. I think finding your tribe to help you, like pull you out of it is necessary. And I'm finding that I lean on that a lot. And I think even more so, I think a practice that I've really gotten into, and I always meditate, I love to meditate. It helps my day. But getting into the practice when you're really feeling like you're in it, of just surrounding yourself with things that are uplifting, words of encouragement, podcasts that are encouraging, people that you hear, little snippets of Abraham Hicks or whatever, or like movies that are playing in the background that are actually something that make you feel like I am uplifted. And more than anything, it's because what we're trying to do is change our energy, right? Like it all comes down to that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting energy wise. I had an experience on Saturday that was really surprising to me. I had in the sort of social media posts that I've been producing, I've had some success. And then I had one on Friday where when I woke up Saturday morning, I'm like, that one didn't really succeed. And I was journaling about it, and I got a little bit down on myself, going, why did that happen? Or what's wrong? Or, oh, here we go again. Like it's that sort of, and it's not just social media. Like I know that this can happen at any point where I get self-judgmental or go, what's wrong? Or I think something's wrong. And what was funny, and this is the part where I was like, the universe has such a sense of humor. I just said, you know what? I have to shake it off. It is what it is. And my job is consistency. So my job that day was just put out another one. Didn't give much thought to it, just put out another one. Within a day, that one was like 100x the performance of ones I'd seen before, like thousands and thousands and thousands of views and a lot of engagement. And I was like, what a funny, like, I just, for me, the takeaway was I could get down on myself, but I got back up and just did the work. And then the universe is like, there you go. For me, it was like, you just never know.
Yeah. It's that resiliency. It's like, am I going to get stuck here, or am I just going to keep moving? Like, how quickly can I just brush it off? And that's like Liza was talking about, calling your people. And there's nothing worse than when you call somebody and you're feeling down, or you're in that place and they're like, just let it go, or remember who you are. And you're like, F you. Like, I need a minute. And I think the gift is when you can acknowledge where, like, yeah, this sucks. Yeah, I'm feeling, I'm having real feelings about whatever it is. I'm feeling down about, people aren't engaging with my content, which triggers the, like, maybe people don't like me, or, I can even catastrophize to maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, right?
Exactly.
Like, who am I to think that I should be putting out content or whatever? And then when you call someone like the two of you and just go, yeah, it sucks, but here's the truth. Here's what I know. Can you dust yourself off and, like, go post another one? Not that Thor called me and asked me, but if he had, that would be the conversation we would have had, is like, your content's great. Go do it again. Like, whatever. It's just it's like a reset and a shift, and a reset and a shift. And then when you have enough piled up of, like, those magic moments of, like, 100x engagement, you start to, you're like, maybe next time I won't have to call Liza. I still call the two of you, because I hope that I'm going to get to a point where, like, Thor got there by himself. Like, kudos to you.
Yeah.
I don't know that I will ever have that. Just my personality. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel sometimes that I'm, like, teetering between, like yes, I know who I am. And then I get a little too involved in the minutia of the baloney, And so when I need to, I can't, like that. Like, when it's hustle time, it's like, oh shit, you don't have time for this, girl. Get out on your own, get out. But if I have time, I'll nuzzle in.
I also get those emotional hangovers, like like I'm great in the crisis. Like if something big is happening, I can rally, move from moment to moment, no time for self-pity, feeling sorry for myself. And then after I get through it, I have that emotional lag of like, of it all hitting me. And then I feel the emotion of it. And then again, like, plus it's more fun to go through it with people.
Yeah. It's interesting. It makes me think about, and we've all had this experience of someone comes to you for a counseling session or comes to you for treatment. If they came to someone as a practitioner for treatment, how much time will you spend with them sort of discussing or being compassionate about the current state they're in? Like, what's your sort of default on how you go about the beginning part of a session?
I don't think I'm ever compassionate, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because someone is trying to tell you what's going on. And I believe that as a practitioner, as a counselor, it is really our job to not get down there, really,
Mhm.
really, and listen to what's happening so that you can get to where it is that they actually want to get going.
Mhm.
I can't help someone out of a well if I fall into the well with them.
Sure.
But don't you think that's more empathy? Like that's the fallacy of empathy, and it's such a buzzword. Like you have to have empathy, lead with empathy. Corporate America loves that word, and for me, that's getting into the well with you. But for me, and like sympathy is also a no-no because I'm feeling sorry for you, and there's no
Right.
place for I feel sorry for you. But for me, compassion is I see you, I see where you're at. I connect with you there. And like the loving hand of like, let me help you out. So I don't really look at compassion as a negative if it's coming from that place. Cause I think the worst thing that you can do is, or for me, like what I don't want in a session, I should say, is somebody who, again, it's like the phone call, right? I want somebody that can meet me where I'm at and
Right.
then lift me up. But if you just try to lift me up without meeting me, then I have a tendency to think you're full of crap.
Right.
I know you don't do that, Liza. I'm just saying.
No, I completely agree with you. I think it's like if I call you and I generally will say, I need you to be in this with me for a second. I always start off that way. I need you to be in this with me for a second, and you'll go there. And then, but I think when someone comes to me as a counselor, you're coming to me because you want to get to the other side of it.
Mhm.
And it's my job to make sure. And yes, I agree with you to understand. Like I'm listening to the story, not going, yeah, sorry, lady, you're full of shit. Let me help you. That's never where I'm coming from. And I think it's listening to, what I don't want to do is make it seem like I'm right there with you. And I completely understand that this is awful. Like, oh my God, how are you getting through life right now? I don't get it. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want to be in that place with them. But I think how you described it, Tiffani, is perfect because you want to make sure that the person that you're talking to actually gets that you get where they are. And also you get that they can be somewhere else and you're that bridge between that.
Yep.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's,
I
think
would agree.
Liza,
I think I would agree with you on that.
Liza, you just said the word understanding, and maybe that's the word. Like if you go, if you're hearing them and you say, what I'm hearing is this, maybe they go, yes, exactly. Because now they feel like someone understands them. Not that you're agreeing with it, not that you're sympathizing or feeling like, oh God, that must be really terrible. But you're saying what I understand, what I'm hearing, it's reflective listening that you're telling them what you hear back, right?
Well, the story is information, but the emotion behind it is what really matters, right?
Yeah.
When I call anybody or I go into a practitioner session or whatever the case may be, I'm telling you the details. I got into this fight with so and so, but really what matters is what's triggered in me, the emotion behind it, and that's the connecting point, not the details of what happened, but the emotion and the beliefs behind it and what is triggering. Because when I can touch that, then it's like, that's when we can get to the point of you're so much bigger than this. Like, do
Right.
you know how amazing you are? And just because, what would you like to experience? Because you can have that. So let's go there. And that's where for me, the bridge is.
Right.
I've been on some coaching calls where one of the ways that they begin the call is they tell people, and this makes sense in this modality in a coaching setting, where they'll say, ask your question. Like if you're on a call with a bunch of people and you want to have as many opportunities for people to ask their question as possible, the host will say, ask your question and then I'll follow up if I need more context, which can sometimes, it's great. And what they'll even say is like, write down your question in advance so that you are sort of starting clear in your own mind, because what can sometimes happen is people will still ignore that and then they'll just go on for like, 5 or 10 minutes and tell you all the stuff. And then the host will be like, and your question is, and again, that wouldn't be what we do in a counseling session, but I like that idea of saying, frame in your own mind, what's the question that you're trying to figure out? Because then that can help you get to the answer sooner, I think.
Yeah. We're finding the fear. Like for me, 99% of the time, it's what are you afraid of? Like, I'm afraid that this is going to happen, or I'm afraid I'm not going to get something that I want, or that I'm afraid my needs won't be met or whatever. Like, and I think the questions are a great way to find, like, you're kind of playing the game of find the fear to a large extent when you're in a counseling session or talking to your besties.
Do you find that people, when they come to you, do they already have a sense of what the issue is, or is it something that you tend to discover with them?
I think that there is, and we say it in our teaching too, there's that in you that always knows, right? And so I think that on some level, we know the truth. I think that we often hide the truth from ourselves, and we are able to sort of hide from it in the story. Like, and what I mean by that is, when people are coming to you with, I'm confused about whether I should choose A or B, and they usually on some level know that like A is what I really want, but like B is the safer choice, or this is what my friends or my family will want me to do, or whatever. So in certain regard, I think they know. And then, I've had many counseling sessions like where I've been going to a minister or practitioner where it hits me like a ton of bricks, where I'm like, oh my goodness, that's it. I had no idea, but it's in me. It's just that they're helping me discover something that was out of sight, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well,
both?
and I think also, but sometimes a problem shows up, or someone comes in for something, and it turns out that the belief or the real issue is something else. I know I've had that experience a lot, where it's, I'm here, relationship, my relationship, blah, blah, blah. And it turns into actually something else. That's the sort of the underlying thing, which has been, sort of the root of the problem in a relationship, right?
Or the ultimate pivot where you go in and you're like, they're such a jerk, they're doing this, they're whatever. And you're like, and then you have the, I'm the jerk, or, it's really about me. It's not about them.
Yeah. I think that's funny. Like, well, I came here because, my so-and-so is acting this way and I'm trying to get him to act differently, or get her to act differently. Like, oh, okay. Well, let's talk about that. Need for control. Let's talk about that need for control.
Do you ever have people come to a session who are like, everything's great for the most part, I just want even more great? Like, it seems like people come to a practitioner or a minister or counselor when things aren't going well, which makes sense. But have you had people come to you when they're like,
not.
Yeah,
I truly have not.
Okay. I'm wrestling with myself. Like, do you say this out loud? But like, I start filtering myself now. Generally speaking, when somebody comes to me and it's like, everything's perfect, everything's fantastic, like, I just think they're full of crap. And not because life isn't great. And like, my life is fantastic, but I can always find something to complain about, if I'm being honest. Like, I can always find something that I need more of, or an opportunity to have a conversation to elevate my energy. And so, even though like, my life is great and I am happy and I am thriving and all of those things. But when people have that like plastered smile of perfection, I always want, full of crap is a mean way of saying it. I always wonder what's going on just beyond that. And what are they not looking at, which may or may be a total judgment on my part. But so maybe because of that, people who are happy and just want more things don't choose me as a practitioner to come to. Like, they're like, not going to her. She's going to think I'm full of
clearly
crap.
don't come to me either, Tiff. So there's
Right?
that.
Don't come here to eat if you're not being fed. Like, I'm not the one.
I guess another way to think about it is maybe not like the sort of person who's got the everything's great, everything's fine, but I still came to you. Is maybe someone comes to you and says, you know what, I've got a big job interview in a couple days, and I just want to feel my most confident. Like it's not that they're hiding something, maybe, but that they just want like that little booster of like you're in my pocket or you're in my corner and pulling for me. Maybe that's another way people can use it. Do you?
Yeah,
you get that a lot. Yeah, I think. Because it's just an added, it's like a shot in the arm of knowing who you are before you go into whatever that experience is. Or,
correct.
I already know that the outcome's assured and that I'm going to rock this, whatever. But like knowing that you know it too, and that you in consciousness are holding it, helps me to feel like I'm held and I'm not carrying it alone. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. It's not that they don't know it for themselves, but it doesn't hurt when I know that, Liza and Dr. Thor got my back too when I'm going into whatever's happening.
Yeah, agreed.
And it may even be in that context that there is still some small amount of doubt that might come through. I mean, I've had that where people are like, I'm going to have a procedure. And they're like, I know everything's good. Like, I'm happy with the doctor and whatever. But they haven't yet. There's one thing that may come up where they're like, oh, I guess if I did have any concern, it's this. And then we can explore that and ultimately treat for that. So they came into it feeling good, but maybe there was some small little thing that they hadn't figured out just yet.
Well, I think everybody would probably have that no matter what, whether it's a job interview or going on a date or getting some procedure. Even if they feel okay, it's kind of nice to get that extra, like, will you just keep me, know for me that all is well,
Yeah.
Well, because it's still the unknown. And I think that's like, when I say like people are full of crap away. It's not that. It's just that we're all always walking into the unknown. Even when we know who we are and we know who's showing up, I'm still walking into the unknown. And there's often a little bit of fear around that, or a little bit of trepidation. Even excitement can sometimes feel like fear in the body. And so walking into that job interview or that date or that medical procedure, there's if you're walking into the unknown, sometimes you can have that little teeny shred of doubt. And I'm like, please just take that shred of doubt so that I can be my most robust self walking into this. Like,
do you guys treat for yourselves when you're about to do something? Like I was thinking about
every day.
Now, let me ask this, because some of us, well, a lot of kids maybe grew up where you like did grace before you had a meal. And there's something when I've done that as an adult where I'm at a table where everyone's like, let's say grace. I don't do it at home, but it kind of feels good. And it reminds me, maybe I should be doing that more often, like setting that intention. Like if I'm getting in the car and going, I'm about to drive somewhere and I know that I'm going to be safe and guided and I'll get there, refreshed or whatever. Like, so yeah, tell me, do you do that when you're about to embark on something?
I do it every morning. I treat every morning. I meditate and I treat.
I'm so impressed. I mean, I'm not surprised, but good for you. I am often a wait until my tushy's falling off kind of gal. Going into the big thing, absolutely, 100% of the time. Like I definitely treat. And when I can feel myself forgetting or, when the fear sets in, absolutely. And I do have little things, like if I start to feel anxious, I'll just tell myself like I'm safe and I'm protected. Like I know who I am. Like I have those pause reflection moments of like, you're good. But I am not a wake up in the morning and treat for the day. And I love the idea of that. And I used to, and I think it might be time to get back to that.
Liza, when you treat for the day, are you treating thinking about the specific things you have to do, or sort of just general, I want this day to go well, or what does that look like for you?
I think it just depends on what it's like when I wake up, you know? If I know there's something coming up, I treat for that. If I just want my day to have easy, like I just moved. So believe me. So when I say that I treat them, it's because it's been a lot happening. As you can see, I'm coming to you from a bed at my dear friend Tiffany's house. Not that Tiffany, different Tiffany. And I think that's probably like right before I started all the packing, all the moving, all the what am I doing right now kind of stuff. It was like I would get up and treat every morning. So yeah, I mean, if it was the day of moving, it would be safe packing, you know, ease and grace, all that kind of stuff. Although I personally I don't love ease and grace. It's so funny. It's funny that I just said that, but it's one of my I don't want to say it's a pet peeve. It's not really a pet peeve, but I don't know.
Cliche, like perfect.
We're gonna put a pin in that, and we can have that conversation on another time. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to get into it. I know ease and grace is something that some people say and they love it, and I think that's wonderful. It just for some reason doesn't always work for me, but I do believe in having a peaceful, joy-filled day, harmonious, whatever.
And you do something on Wednesday mornings, and we could put the link in the show notes.
We sure can. We can
Tell
put the
us
link on
about
the
that.
notes. So it's actually with Mitch Alcorn he's in Palm Springs, and we co-host every Wednesday morning. We get on for about 10 minutes. And, you know, this is a conversation, Tiffani, you and I were having about what can we do to change what's happening. Sometimes you just get so overwhelmed. With everything that's happening in the world, in my opinion, it just seems like so heavy and dark. And there's a lot of, you know, us against them, you know, othering that's happening. And what happened to unity? What happened to love? What happened to just being able to go outside and say hi to your neighbor? If someone's wearing the wrong colors or the wrong hat or whatever, you know, one way or the other, they're going to get chastised. And why? I mean, isn't this a country of freedom of expression? It seems like that's going away. So on Wednesdays, what I decided to do is just hop on for 10 minutes and we just either go through a guided meditation or a silent meditation. And it is all in service of seeing and visualizing world peace. Because it starts with you, right? Be the change.
A little bit like what Unity does, where they have silent Unity where people can call in or they can, you know, ask for something prayer, although you're doing something very specific. What's been the reaction that people have had to that?
I've had some amazing reactions from people. I've had notes afterwards or, you know, people have said something before. You know, I had one participant who was like, oh my God, after this meditation, I actually sent love to my ex and his new girlfriend. She said, I haven't done that in over a year. Can't stand, blah, blah, blah. She said, I really felt it and meant it. That's one example of many other people, you know, like, wow, today's meditation really touched me and made me cry. Like, and by the way, I say all those things because people are just letting me know how they're impacted, not that I'm impacting anybody, that I'm clear about that, you know? So if it's impacting people that way, then I know that energy is moved in service of opening up and allowing for this peace that we really need today, you know? Yeah.
I think we're so unconsciously spreading not peace, right? Often throughout the day, that to take that time and really focus the energy towards consciously creating peace, it's got to send ripples out into the world. It can't not send ripples out into the world. I know anytime I've logged on, like my day's different. I think about it different. I think about my interactions differently. And I generally am somebody who tries to consciously spread peace and, you know, be kind and hold doors open for people and things like that. But there's a different energy. It's a lot harder to slip into that sort of because sometimes like I'm a jerk and I'm not even trying to be a jerk, right? Like I'm just going through my day and I'm not even aware of the people around me because I've got a shopping list and to-do lists in my head. And I don't even realize that I didn't look up to smile or say hi or whatever. But when I start my day with that conscious intention of peace, I'm a lot less likely to get into that to-do list for the day and focus on, you know, seeing the people around, really seeing them, not just in social niceties.
Yeah.
And this is on Zoom that you do this?
It is on Zoom.
So can people, this is in the morning, so if people want to come on with their camera off, is that cool?
It's totally cool. Come on however you feel like. And there are people that come on not on camera. I mean, it's literally 15 minutes would be tops, if ever, but it's usually about 10 minutes.
And you guys,
And
is it always the same Zoom link? So if we put that in
always the same Zoom link. So if
okay,
we
we'll put that in the
on,
show notes so then people can just find that.
people can just, and if
Wednesday
they have any
mornings.
questions, they can send me a message at liza@marquezministry.com.
Okay,
And I'm happy to answer any questions. Yeah.
we'll put that in there. I love that. And I'm thinking about getting an email address for us. We may have an email address, like a general one in the future. I might do info at All Revved Up Show. We'll see. But
How about questions at?
questions, I love that. Yeah, because I do want to, that was something I was thinking about recently. I'm like, I want to know what questions people have. In fact, if you're listening to this show right now and you're like, and you know you're going to see one of us, pull us over and go, I have a question. And until we get that email address, I love that. You know, one of the things that has caught my attention in the last 2 months, June and July, was the World Cup football match. And I feel like it sort of follows on to this idea of the intention, because there was one specific moment in there that was extraordinary. There was a match between, I'm not going to say it right, but I've heard it both Capo Verde and Cape Verde.
Oh my God, what a great match.
Oh my God. And what was beautiful about it, so for context, this is soccer, football World Cup every 4 years. And so whatever 48 nations qualify or something like that. So they get to the round of 32, and Cape Verde, which is this little series of islands off of the coast of Africa in the Atlantic Ocean, 500,000 people live there. They make it, and they're playing the world champions, Argentina.
Yeah.
And the match, they like played their hearts out, Cape Verde did. I think they even said it was one of those most extraordinary underdog stories, because they had played 3 world champion teams in a row to get to this match. And in 90 minutes of time were not scored on once. They either tied or lost in extra time. And it was, for context, 2.7 billion people worldwide watched that match, which is like the Super Bowl, which we think of as like, that's a lot of people, is like 100 million. This was 2.7 billion. So 2.7 billion people seeing this incredible underdog story. Like the goaltender for Cape Verde was like 40 years old. And it was just, everyone was like, this is what the heart of the world should be, like people coming together in this beautiful expression of togetherness. It really there's always like stuff in the World Cup.
Their story reminded me of Cool Runnings.
Yes, that's what everyone was like. There should be a Cool Runnings for the Cape Verde soccer team. Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's going to make the movie, for sure.
They have to.
They must. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I think, doesn't that give you hope when you see stuff like that, where you go, people come together, or you see the stories of fans that they're like putting the country aside and people are just together, and they can be in the stands and wear their country's jerseys and get along. Like, that's what we want, right?
Yeah. Well, also just what you said is what an inspiring story, that they don't have the type of equipment or, the type of resources that most of these other teams have. Argentina, United States, Spain, Portugal, like Mexico, like all these other teams that have incredible, captains and players and have been doing this forever. And here they are, like, we're going to do this. And they did.
Yeah.
For as long as they could.
As long as they could. And go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, because my contribution is going to be nothing to be about sports, because I'm not, well, now I have to say it. Go ahead. Go, Thor.
What I was going to say was, you do see what people observe, that heart can take you so far, but at a certain point, like the skill level of the teams that are like in the, finals, they're just head and shoulders above other countries. But that heart, it still counts for something. And I think that's the part, like I get chills when I think about that, because it makes me think, okay, when things are challenging, if I remember that mindset and go, if I am able to put myself in that sort of, I don't want to say underdog position, but know that anything's possible if you have that energy. And that's what we come back to, is as the importance of the energy that you bring to something.
I was doing the meditation at New Thought Now last week. And so I was looking up quotes. The theme of the month is passion. And I was looking up quotes about passion. And one of them I came across, I don't remember who said it, and I'm totally going to butcher the quote, but it was something to the effect of passion trumps technique every time. That like that people who are truly successful are successful because of the passion, not because of the technique. The technique follows the passion was basically what it was trying to say. And I think that's, it's the heart, it's the love of the sport, it's the passion that is really carrying beyond the all of the opportunities that some of the other countries had. But the other thing that I was because I never watched soccer. I'm not a big sports person. When during the Super Bowl, when the Rams were at the Super Bowl, I was decked out in Rams gear and people were like, "Are you a Rams fan?" I'm like, "No, I'm a fan of my son and it's his team. So I will, sport what he's sporting." But I'm just not.
I think when your team is playing, you're always, I mean, I was there for Mexico the whole time.
Yeah.
Until sadly, England.
It was a good match. That was a really good match, though.
And the Aztec, oh my God, that match was insane.
Yeah.
I loved it, but
it had everything.
Got it. But anyway, sorry.
For me, what I'm watching is all the people coming together. For me, what I'm watching is everybody focused on this one thing in this moment of time, and the camaraderie and the energy in the cities where all these countries are coming together. And it really is fascinating because it's like, most people really all just want the same thing. Like, most people are just living their lives. They, want to provide for their families. They want to find joy. They want love. They want enough to eat. They want shelter. Like, what drives us is all the same, and really feel that oneness and that connection. And then we get caught up in other stuff, or this us versus them mentality. And that really just doesn't actually exist. This is kind of proof positive that it doesn't really exist in the way that we tend to see it in the world, in the hearts of your average person.
Yeah.
Right.
It makes me think too of movies can sometimes do that for us. Like Star Wars, Tiffani.
Never seen it. Never seen Star Wars.
I know.
What?
It still shocks me.
It's my favorite thing about me.
Yeah, but we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that because
That's like someone who's never had COVID.
That I've had twice.
Yeah, rare. But what about, because it makes me think about something else that happened this year, a movie that brings people together in that way. And I feel like Project Hail Mary, when it was out, was that kind of story where you'd see people going, I hesitate to ask if you've seen that, Tiffani.
Of course I haven't. I have not seen it. No,
I haven't either.
I haven't watched soccer. I didn't watch Star Wars. I didn't see Project Hail Mary. Like, well, you could just mute me and talk amongst yourselves.
Don't worry. I didn't watch it either. I didn't see that. I thought you were going to talk about Parasite.
I didn't see that either. What's Parasite?
That's like 2 years ago. Is that the one? Is that the
it's no. That was such a good movie. Crazy.
That was that won Best Picture though, right? That was.
It sure did.
What's the director's name?
He's from Korea. South Korea. I'm not.
He's
totally
an amazing director. Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. I agree. That was an amazing picture.
Sorry, I had to take it to the sidelines.
The movies that people have seen, when a lot of people see a movie, there's something about that everyone sort of goes, it makes you feel good in the moment because you're like,
Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yeah. Did you like that? Did you see it?
Well, here's the thing. I think people rallied for Devil Wears Prada 2. I mean, what was it, like 20 years after? It was like huge.
Did you like it?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I told my daughter I'd wait for her, and then it just became a big
Some people rallied, apparently. Tiffani, what about you? Did you see it?
I haven't been to the movies in a million years. I will see it, though, because it's definitely one that I want to see. But honestly,
I'll tell you,
it doesn't interest my husband or my kids.
I'm making a note to never bring up movies again.
Passion.
No, I'm sorry. I'll get better. But did you guys watch Real Housewives of Rhode Island? Because I can talk about that all day, and you guys probably haven't seen it. See? So different.
See, I haven't.
Different
but
thing.
I do.
Wait, I wanted to say this because you guys were talking about passion, and about passion is, if you haven't seen the movies, I'm sure you've heard of The Backrooms and Obsession.
Yes, those are like small little independent movies made for like a micro budget that went on to become huge hits.
$750,000 is what Obsession was made, and I think it made 30 million worldwide.
A lot more than that. So one of those made like over 100 million. It's huge. Yeah.
It might have been The Backrooms, and just the stories of how they get picked up, and the kids were like in their 20s, the directors, like that. Like have a vision and move forward with it. That's amazing. Like that's inspiring to me.
To me, it just reminds me of when people say there's a 90% chance that this is going to fail or 90% of people don't make it. I'm like, yeah, but somebody's the 10%. Why can't that 10% be you? Right? Yes, $750,000 to make this movie and box office hit is not the norm. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't try and go for the passion because somebody did. And why can't I?
Yeah.
Right.
We need those stories. We need more of those stories.
And I think maybe that's the lesson, is that when people bring the passion, when the true joy comes in and the energy of I'm in love with this project and I'm in love with this opportunity, then you can't help but create something that's going to have an impact, as opposed to I want to, if you're just doing it for technical reasons, or you think, I'm going to game the system and make a movie that's this, and this, and put in these elements, and then you're shocked that it didn't work. All right, well.
I think that's my whole goal right now in life, is to stop doing things for the outcome and to just do it because I want to do it, because I love doing it, and not even care about what the end result is. Because I do think that sometimes you need to focus your mind in a direction, but I think a lot of times that's what stops me. That's where where I feel inhibited. But I'll dance in the supermarket because I just want to dance in the supermarket, and I'm tired of caring what anybody thinks or looking for feedback about my life. I'm not living it for you, and I'd really like to stop living it for other people. Yeah.
I love that. Well, I think, Tiffani, your homework for this next coming week is to go see Star Wars. We'll
not going to happen.
We'll have people ask you, have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? If you're listening to this.
Are you just not going to see it now because it's a thing?
Okay. No, well, yes and no. I found out that people are appalled when you tell them that you get, it's amazing to them that you've never seen Star Wars. And I realized that the joy from the reaction I get from telling people I've never seen it probably far outweighs the joy I'm going to experience when I actually see it. And so I've decided that I'd rather live a life of telling people I've never seen Star Wars than to actually watch the movie. Plus, I'm sure the special effects are kind of outdated. It was a long time ago.
Hello,
I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to like it. It's not my jam. But I do like telling people I've never seen it.
That's I like telling people I have a Samsung phone.
Yeah, it elicits a response, right?
You both are rule breakers.
Right.
And just for that, and it's just you know what? Just because of your reaction, I will never get an iPhone.
I get it.
I don't care about that. That wouldn't matter to me. I'm I would look at it and go, Liza has exactly the right device and tool that she needs, and I'm happy for you.
You're a better person than we are.
People have reactions. People absolutely have reactions about the fact, hey, you're the bubble that's blue. I'm like, so?
It's actually
no. You're the green bubble.
You're the green bubble.
In our text chat,
I'm the unicorn
the
color.
texts
Whatever.
are green. Yes.
My husband has a Samsung too for the exact same reason. Everybody else is converted and he is the lone green bubble rebel. And you know what? Good for him. Good for you. I love that.
Good for us.
Yeah.
I love being on the show with two rebels. I'm the conformist and you're the two rebels. So you definitely outweigh me. And I'm sure we'll have more rebel and nonconformist talk next week. But it was great to be with you, and have a great week.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. If you enjoyed our conversation, we'd love to have you back. Be sure to subscribe wherever you enjoy podcasts or on YouTube so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on All Revved Up.